Welcome to the Divine Connection Podcast. I'm your host, Christina Aroche, and together we are walking the path of discovering your true self and the alignment with your soul. Through these conversations, you will experience a deeper level of connection with yourself and the universe, and most importantly, you will trust in your spiritual journey ahead. Let's begin. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Divine Connection Podcast. Today, we are answering a question from Tamitha. And so she says, what exercises can I do that will help me better connect with my spirit guides and archangels and possibly know who I am connecting with? I love this question. So good. And yes, I have quite a few practices to share with you, and then also some resources that I'm going to direct you to, which is going to be so fun. So the first thing that I want to start off with is by just sharing that when it comes to our connection to the divine, and when I say the divine, I'm talking about spirit guides, angels, ascended masters, just everybody, everyone in the divine being team. When we connect with the divine, one of the most important places for us to start with this is by inviting in that energy into our everyday life. And so I'm going to assume that you're already doing that. And if you're not, then this is a reminder to start doing that. And it is one of those things where the more that we practice just simply inviting them, and it is the trust that just simply through my invitation and by talking to God, to the angels, to my spirit guides, just simply having that output, that invitation and that request, that already immediately they are right there. They are with us. They will make themselves known to us, and that they are listening and they're supporting us. So that right there is the very first. I know it sounds very simple, but sometimes we can get caught up in that, because the thing is that, and I get this, like I see this all the time. I used to feel this way too. But sometimes it's almost like a feeling of, yeah, but I don't actually hear them or feel them. So I need more. I need a better sense of confirmation or validation that they're actually around me. And if we break that down, if we really are honest with ourselves, that that thinking or that experience is, essentially saying like, this isn't enough and I don't trust it. So like, give me better validation or better confirmation. Like that's essentially what that energy is speaking to, and that the frequency that it holds. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that it can hold us back. It can hold us back from truly experiencing the love and the power and the magic that our spirit guides and our angels are wanting to bring to us. And so it is noticing where we might be holding expectations, or where we might be holding that energy of, well, like, this isn't enough. Like, I don't want to just call on them and just pretend like they're there. I want direct confirmation, and just noticing if that's a thing. If that's a thing for you, if you're thinking that every once in a while. I know that for me, my experience has been in moments where if I feel frustrated about how a situation is unfolding, and I'm like, this isn't what I was expecting, this isn't not what I wanted, and then I'm getting mad or annoyed at the divine, I'm getting frustrated at the archangels, I'm like, what are you guys doing? Why is this happening? This is not unfolding the way that I thought it would. And I'm just feeling that normal human emotion. And then it's actually in the moments where, that I'm like asking for guidance, and I'm just like, hey, what is the thing? And I'm like trying to control it still, even though I'm reaching for, support and guidance from the divine. It's like, I'm still trying to control it in some way. There's some like underlying control energy that wants to come in. And what I find in those moments is that it's like feels more silent, and it feels more like they're asking me to come back to my truth and my true self, and so it's not until I kind of come back to my truth and my sense of, okay, I trust in the unfolding, I trust in who I am and how everything has been guided up until this point, and I kind of come back to that truth, then there is more of a connection that feels like it's there, or it feels more like there's a deeper sense of clarity that comes through with the messages. So I've definitely experienced it. I think we all do. We're all humans. So we all go through those moments where it's kind of like, I want to rip my hair out. Why is this not, a deeper connection right now? And that could be part of the reason why. And so in us letting go of our expectations, or letting go of resistance, or letting go of any feeling like, well, that's not a good enough sign. Like, I need a better sign. Can you guys give me a better sign? In that, what we are doing is that we are letting go of any need for things to be a certain way, which is ego. We're letting go of the need to control, and instead we really allow ourselves to be led, and we lean into that, and we're led into the path of the highest good, of the greatest potential. Now, the other part of this that's going to really be supportive for you in having that deeper connection with your spirit guides and the archangels is going to be holding a sense of gratitude and acknowledgement anytime any sort of sign, any sort of synchronicity happens. That's one of the things that I have really cultivated. Like, I'm pretty proud of myself of how I've cultivated this. It's like any little sign, as little as, angel numbers, for example, like 1111 or 444 or whatever it is. When I see that, I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys are so funny. I love that. Thank you. Like, I just like have that little acknowledgement. I'm just like, you guys, thank you. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. And I just really feel this appreciation of like, thank you for letting me know that you're here. Thank you for that little sign. That was so cool. I see a feather on the ground. I'm like, oh, you guys, that was awesome. You guys are awesome. And I simply acknowledge it. I'm not trying to necessarily find like what's the meaning of life as a result of this sign, or what's further here, what does this mean, what are you trying to tell me. I don't really go to that depth necessarily, because to me, those day-to-day synchronicities throughout my day, the signs that I see, all of that, it's really about the presence and them telling you, hey, we're here, we're with you. We're acknowledging that we listened to what you said to us earlier today, or whatever. And so it's kind of that, being in that space where, thank you, like, that's enough, that like this fulfills me, this is enough, instead of being in that energy of like, yeah, cool, like, thanks for the third angel number today, but like, what does that mean? That's not enough, that's not good enough for me. I need a more clear, direct sign. And just noticing where our ego steps in with that, because it can be very subtle. Trust me, I've been there. I've done that. I've rolled my eyes at the angels before when I see angel numbers, because I'm like, thanks, but that's not helpful to me right now in this situation. I need you to do this thing for me right now, and it's just normal part of our development. And it's also something that we get to just release and let go, and just see, it's really meant to be fun and lighthearted and loving, and just, get to have fun with this experience. And so the other thing too, like I said, being in that energy of gratitude and appreciation, it influences your vibration and influences your frequency. And in that is actually the magic formula to really receiving more and receiving more guidance, or receiving a depth of connection that maybe wasn't there before. And it's not because they all of a sudden are like, okay, cool, you're grateful now we'll have a deeper connection with you. It's not that. It's because your energy opened up. They're always willing and ready to have a deeper connection with you, but it is our own frequency that stops it, or that blocks it, or that holds it back, or resists it, or however you want to think of it. But it is our own energy. When our energy says, no, that's not a good enough sign, or no, I don't appreciate that, or, or whatever, like, I need more, I need a clear answer right now. That's when our energy is in a different space. Whereas if we're in a space of like, thank you, I'm so excited, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, that was awesome, you guys are so funny, I love that sign, I loved how you put the feather there, that was so cool, thank you so much for that confirmation. It's our energy shifts, and it's in a different space. And in that different space, that's where the connection gets deeper and where the messages become clearer. So that is what I suggest, is just noticing how you are in your day-to-day life, just kind of like, how am I flowing with this? How am I feeling? Where is my energy at? Am I appreciating or not? And just kind of like checking in with yourself and allowing yourself to really be in a space of deep gratitude and appreciation. Now, aside from that, that's kind of like the day-to-day, moment to moment type of experience. There are things that you can do, of course, that will support you in just having a practice, like practicing what it feels like to connect and practicing what it feels like to hear their messages or to feel their presence, or the other part of the question, to know who you are connecting with and who is around you. And so one of the key things that I always suggest is, when you are practicing, is to actually be intentional, like you're the one who is what's the word I want to use? You're the one who's dictating, or you're the one who's saying, like, I'm going to be connecting with Archangel Gabriel right now, as the example. He's coming forward, so we'll just use him as the example. uh, and and so, you're like, okay, I'm going to connect with Archangel Gabriel. Archangel Gabriel, please come forward and show me, help me to feel your presence, reveal to me your presence. And that's the simple prayer. And then your practice is to tune in and see what you feel, see what comes forward, see what insights, what aha moments start to land in your mind. Notice how the energy maybe shifts around you. Maybe you start to feel this like tingly sensation in your heart chakra, or maybe you just start to have visions of this energy. So it's going to look so different for each person. And so that's why, having a practice where you are specifically tuning in and you're the one who is asking. So instead of just being like, okay, angels, I want to connect with you, who's coming forward, and then you're kind of just trying to guess who it is, you're the one who's saying, Archangel Gabriel, please come forward. And so that way you are familiarizing yourself with how Archangel Gabriel feels and how your experience is with him. And so then when that feels comfortable for you, you do it consistently. And when that feels comfortable for you, then you can move on to a different archangel, for example, Archangel Raphael. Now you come forward and help me to see and feel what your energy is like, what this connection feels like. And you start to just simply be in it and you explore. And at first it might be super, super subtle. So again, it goes back to what I was saying before, where if at first it doesn't really feel like you're feeling anything, it's not going in the direction of, ugh, like I suck, or this isn't enough, like I need a better sign. It's just simply trusting. Okay, thank you, Archangel Raphael, for being with me, even if I didn't feel anything at all right now, like not a single clue. Thank you for being with me, because I know that if I called on you, you were present with me. And it goes back to that belief. It's this core foundational belief that you are creating for yourself and that you're anchoring into, that when I call upon the angels, when I call upon my spirit guides, when I call upon the divine, immediately they're with me. I don't care if they show me a sign or not. I don't care if there's confirmation or not. That's not about that. It's, I know that as soon as I say their name, they are with me. And that's essentially, you're building on top of that foundation. The more that you practice this, the more that you do this, you're anchoring that belief in further and further and further, which then as a result, you are going to end up having this really beautiful experience where the connections start to grow and expand and just feel so divinely in flow, for lack of a better way of explaining that. So that's my suggestion in terms of a daily practice. And then the other thing that I'll just say is, when it comes to connecting with your spirit guides, when you are asking for their name, what I suggest is please show me your name, or reveal to me your name. And, you can tune in depending on, how you intuitively already are receiving messages or guidance. You might just tune in and just like kind of feel a name coming through, or you might not. And if you don't, then the fun thing is that you get to be like, reveal to me your name. And then you might have a dream where a person, like a random person in your dream, is like, telling you their name. And in that case, you know that the name is your spirit guide. That's happened to me before, where I had a dream that this random person was like, Sebastian, Sebastian, Sebastian. And then I woke up and I was like, oh my gosh, my spirit guide's name is Sebastian. So that's an experience that I've had before. And, it might be in a dream. It might just simply be that you start seeing the name everywhere. Like in your everyday life, you might just see the name, like, just pop up everywhere. You're reading a book and that name stands out. Then you're scrolling on Instagram and then you see this name again. And then you meet someone's friend and that's their name. And you're just like, whoa, I keep seeing this name everywhere. Angel Celeste does that. If you've ever seen my Angel Celeste video, she makes herself known through her name. And then I've received so much confirmation from people in the comments on that YouTube video. They're like, whoa, I started seeing Celeste everywhere. And then I looked her up and I came across this video. Celeste really likes to make herself known through her name, but that's besides the point. The point is that you get to have fun with it. You get to ask them to reveal the name to you. And it's about trusting in the timing, in how it unfolds, in how they connect with you. And that the foundational belief that you are building this on is the fact that when I call on my angels and my spirit guides, they are immediately there and they will reveal to me. It's about my trust, my patience, my acknowledgement, my gratitude. And from there, it gets to build. Now, I have a couple of resources that will be really supportive. The first one is a free resource. It's a downloadable meditation that you can receive, and it guides you. Literally, it's a guided meditation where I'm guiding you to connect with your angels and spirit guides. And in that, you're going to be held in a space where their names potentially, or how they're here to support you, the messages that they have for you, all of that kind of information gets to be revealed to you. The beautiful thing about these kinds of guided meditations is that when you're being guided, the way that I do them is that it's like I'm holding a space, I'm holding a container, and you're entering into that space, which is elevating your frequency. Your energy is in a different space, which makes you more receptive to receiving the messages. So I often hear from people, when I try to do this on my own, it's kind of hard, but when I listen to your guided meditation, I can feel the energy and feel the presence. And it's because of how I hold the space for you to be able to connect. So go download that free meditation. The link is below this episode in the show notes. So go check it out, go download it, and then come let me know how it was. Send me a DM on Instagram or, the contact form on my website, and let me know how that goes for you. That's the first thing. And then the second resource is the Archangel Oracle card deck. And with this card deck, obviously this is specific to the archangels, not necessarily your spirit guides, but with the archangels in this card deck, the thing is that the artwork that is in the card deck, it is channeled energy. And so one way is that, when you pull yourself a card, whatever message card or specific angel card comes through, you're going to know, okay, that angel is around me and letting me know this message. So one, you get that clear sense, and it kind of helps to create this sort of framework for you to connect further with that specific angel. And then also the artwork that is associated with each angel, there's a color there, there's a frequency there, there's sacred geometry there. So that in and of itself, the art is encoded with that frequency. And so let's say you pull the Archangel Raphael card and then you hold that card and you sit with it. And I talk about this in the guidebook with the card deck, is that if you sit with that Archangel Raphael card and you meditate with it, or you just kind of like look at it and kind of go in a meditative gaze with this card, it is going to bring through the energy of Archangel Raphael, and you are going to feel that and experience that. So that's a tool that you can use to really support you specifically with your Archangel connection and also receive messages. So it's a really fun deck. And so I'm going to link that in the show notes as well, so you can go check it out if you have not gotten your copy of the deck yet. And if you're watching me on YouTube, I'm going to show you the beautiful deck right now. It's just so amazing. I love this deck so much. So that is my answer to your question, Tamitha. Thank you so much for submitting that. And as always, if you would like to submit your question to be answered on the podcast, you can do so. The link is in the show notes. Anything that you need to find, you always just look in the show notes. Everything is always there. So go check that out, submit your question, and make sure that you are listening in to receive the answer at some point on the podcast. That is it for today. Thank you so much for listening in. I am sending you so much love and angel blessings, and I will see you very soon. Bye. Thank you once again for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. And if you want to learn more about the Divine Connection podcast, you can go to ChristinaAroche.com/podcast and learn about how you can be featured on the show.